break this down for me. Just how big is the chance now of this asteroid hitting Earth, and how soon could it happen?
Yeah, so how big, a lot of how big. So first of all, how big is the asteroid? The asteroid is big enough that it would take out a city. It's not big enough that it would take out civilization, but it's 100 to 300 feet across. It's not exactly clear exactly what size it is, because it's, it's a little dot in the sky at night, and everybody's looking at it and trying to figure out how big it is, but it's kind of hard to tell based on, how much light is reflecting off of it, and if it's darker or lighter, that could change that. So we know roughly how big it is. It was first discovered right after Christmas, moving away from us, having just passed us. And so we didn't see it coming, but now we saw it going away, and we said, okay, great. And then based on its movements, we said, let's figure out its trajectory. And we figured out that 4 years from now, it's going to pass us around Christmas time again. And then 4 years after that, it's going to do that another time. And we realized that in 4 years, there's no chance it's going to hit us. We're fine. But the pass after that, the one 8 years from this past Christmas, so a little less than 8 years now, there's a chance it'll hit the Earth. And when they first looked at the trajectory, they said, okay, there's about a 1.3, 1.4% chance that it's going to hit the Earth. Now it's looking like closer to a 2% chance, a little bit higher than 2%. So the odds have doubled. And listen, 1 out of 50 is not very good odds if you're going to the casino, but 1 out of 50 is a terrifying odds when you're talking about a rock that could hit the Earth.
No kidding. To put this in perspective, have any other large asteroids like this ever had, a probability of 2% chance of impact?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen numbers like this in a long time. I mean, obviously, asteroids hit the Earth all the time. I mean, that's what a shooting star is. If it's small enough, it makes no difference. Sometimes you get a cute little event like an asteroid hits somebody's driveway in front of their doorbell cam, which happened in Prince Edward Island just this year, and everybody says, oh, isn't that fun? Nobody got hit, no problem, no big deal. But with this one, we're just not quite sure what to expect. So this thing is going to go, it's continuing to move away from us. It's getting harder and harder to read its trajectory. We're not going to get very good data on its trajectory in the next little while. But when it comes by 4 years from now and does not hit us, we're going to get a very good look at what its trajectory is. And it's around then that we're going to go from this 1%, 2%, maybe 3% chance. It'll be much clearer. And at that point, people will be saying either it's a 0 or it's a 100. And obviously, those two scenarios carry very different, very different circumstances for us in terms of how we prepare.
So this has definitely got everyone's attention. How will NASA keep an eye on this asteroid?
Well, so one fun thing is we've got this great telescope, this space telescope, the Webb Space Telescope. And normally that thing's busy looking at the farthest reaches of the universe. But what they're going to do in March is take some time to point that thing at this rock and get a good look at it. And what they're saying is that they might get a little bit more information about its trajectory there, but it's not really likely that we're going to get that cleared up. But what's likely to happen is we'll get a much better idea of its size. So all the telescopes that have been seeing this asteroid from Earth have been relying on the light that comes from the sun and bounces off of it and comes back to us like everything else we look at in the sky. But the James Webb Space Telescope has heat vision. It's a thermal camera. So what it's going to do is it's going to see the heat of the rock. Now, the rock's pretty cold, but it's not as cold as the blackness of space behind it. So it'll have a thermal signature. And so James Webb is going to be able to see exactly how big it is and tell us exactly what we're in for if this thing does hit the Earth. And then, we already know that the date, if it's going to hit the Earth, it's going to be the 22nd of December in the year 2032. So we know that much. And as we learn more about its trajectory, if it is going to hit the Earth, we'll know where it's going to hit. And then we'll have lots and lots of time to make arrangements, move people out of the way, do our best to mitigate the impact. But we also have the opportunity to maybe try to bump it. And so there was the double asteroid redirect test that NASA did recently, where they sent up a spacecraft and tried to bump an asteroid to change its trajectory. And they were able to do it more successfully than they expected. So if we find out 4 years from now that this thing is going to hit the Earth, we do have this possibility of sending up a rocket, bumping it, and trying to change the trajectory so that it doesn't hit us after all. But these are a lot of ifs for something that has, a 32 out of 1,000 chance of actually hitting the Earth anytime at all.
Fascinating nonetheless. Dan, we will pause this conversation for 4 years.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you then.
Thanks so much.